All right, welcome back to another episode. So, in the last episode, what we did was we created this new endpoint that fetches all the bands for us. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over to the front end right now, and we're going to go ahead and create a new section that's going to allow the administrator that's logging in to click on the bands section. And when they click on it, we're going to render all of the users that have been banned. Okay, so let's go over to the React part. We're going to go over to, so right now I'm in the Discord dashboard React project. And the first thing I'll do is I'll go to the category page. And I think what I'll do is, I think this would probably fall under guild information because bans are technically part of a guild information. So we'll go ahead and put that inside this div over here. So underneath guild information, I'm going to go ahead and copy this text button. I'm going to paste here. So we're going to have a new section, or not a new section, but a new button. And I'm just going to call this guild bans. And when we click on it, it's going to take us to another page. So I'll just probably call this bans. So we'll have to create a new route, of course. And that, yeah, so let's go ahead and do that. So what we'll do is we'll first create a page. So I'll call this guild bands page.tsx. And this is just going to be the page that's going to be returned whenever we visit the dashboard /bands route. So export const guild bands page. Guild bands page. Okay. And then we're going to go to app.tsx. Let's go ahead and register that route. So we'll do that right over here. Route path /dashboard /bands. An element. We'll go ahead and get that guild bands page right over there. And that got imported up top over here. Visual Studio Code was able to auto import it for me. Okay, so let's go ahead and try this out. So I click on guild bands. You can see we have guild bands page, which is awesome. I'm gonna do one more quick thing. I'm gonna go ahead and let me see if I can grab an info icon so I can change this icon over here from IO settings outline to IO information. Let me see if I can get a different icon. And yeah, I think this would be probably better. There we go. Cool. Yeah, so we had the original settings icon because we just copied this and we just pasted it up here. I'm just going to change it real quick. Awesome. So when I click on bands, it brings me to guild's band page. Perfect. Perfect. I like it. Cool. All right. So now what we got to do next is we're going to go ahead and have to call this endpoint. We have to go fetch this resource. All right, so what's next is we need to fetch this endpoint from the front end. So we can go ahead and do that very easily. So inside the guild bands page, we can go ahead and actually just create a custom hook for this. So we can do something like use fetch guild bands, for example. Now, one thing I did want to mention is if you want to use a library called React Query, which is a pretty popular library to fetch and query data, you can go ahead and use that. You don't have to create custom hooks and handle it yourself. You can actually let React Query take care of it for you. Okay, so we're going to go inside this use fetch bands.tsx file, create a function called use fetch guild bands, and all this is going to do is literally just fetch the API, and it's going to store the data inside a variable. It's going to just return everything. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and start off by creating our state variables. So we're going to need three, right? One for loading, one for the error, and then one for the data, of course. And for the data, remember we're fetching an array of guild bands. So we can actually go to the API project, go inside the the types.ts file, And we can actually just copy these two types and just bring it inside our React project because we're going to need them anyway, so might as well. All right. So I'll call this bands, and we'll do guild band type and an array of that. And then for the default value, we'll just have an empty array. Okay. And then what we'll do is we'll return bands loading error. So what we need to do here is we need to obviously call the API, but we got to go ahead and create that function to call it inside api.ts. So we'll go and do export const get guild bands. We're going to get the guild ID, and we just call axios.get. We'll type annotate it guild band type, an array of guild band types, and then the URL is just going to be API URL / guilds guild ID, and then bands, and then we need to pass in the Axios config as well. And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh yeah, I forgot we do need to get the guild ID for this hook. So let's make sure we get that parameter. Okay, so get guild bands, pass in the guild ID, handle the promise. So whenever it succeeds, we will call set ban, pass in the data, and then if it fails, whoops, console.log error, and then set error. And let's also make sure we set the state of loading to true whenever we actually fetch the guild bands, and then when we're done with everything, we will set loading to false. So that way we know when the API call is done. And we gotta go ahead and pass in the empty dependency array. So that way this use effect hook will only run once. So now all we gotta do is just go and set guild band page, and we gotta go and just use this hook. Okay, so let's go and do that. So we call use fetch use fetch guild bands, yep. We gotta go and pass in the guild ID. And in order to get that, we need to consume the context. So let's go ahead and do that. Pass in guild context, which is going to give us the guild, and we can get the guild ID from there. Okay. So from here, we will need the guild ID. So let me go ahead and just grab that. So what I'm doing here on line 7 is I'm checking to see if guild is truthy. And if it's truthy, we're going to get the guild ID. If it's not, we're just going to get the empty string. And if it passes in an empty string, it'll return a 404, which is good because that means that the guild is not found. So we can handle that accordingly later. Okay. Well, let's go ahead and get the bands. We'll get the loading, and we'll get the error as well from the hook. All right, so what do we do next? Well, we just go ahead and render out the bands. So if I want to, I can just do bands.map. And I can go ahead and just render it out like this. I can do something like band.user.tag. I guess there's no tag. Okay, let's see what it looks like. Seems like we have an error. Let's see, can I read properties? Oh, that's fine. That's because it tries to read it when there's nothing in there. Wait. Yeah, I think what we should do is we should definitely let me do this real quick. So if band's truthy and it's not loading, we'll go ahead and render out the bands. Oh wait, I gotta wrap this inside there. Otherwise, we will go ahead and return a spinner. So justify content, items, center. All right, this should work. Okay, I don't know why it's saying cannot read property of undefined reading username. So it's saying user is null? Hold on, that's weird. What does bands return? Are we calling the wrong endpoint? I think we are calling the wrong endpoint, yeah. Get guild bands. We might be calling the wrong endpoint. Okay, no. Guild band type. No, we aren't. Use fetch guild bands. Okay. But why is it returning? This is returning a different piece of information. Oh, I know why. Yeah, we are calling the wrong endpoint. Yeah, sorry, it's not. I forgot to do /discord. There we go. Silly me. There we go. Perfect. It works. Cool. So we have obviously our username. Of course, if we had more users that were banned from this Discord guild, it would obviously show up. I mean, I can go ahead and just ban random users that aren't even in the guild, and their information would pop up here. Okay. But like I said, it will return all the guild bans and the reason. So what you can do is you can make it so that when you click on a user, you can take it to the next page, and then you can have like some configurations, such as if you want to revoke the ban or not, something like that. Okay, but that's pretty much just the gist of this. What we'll do in the next episode is we'll just style this up a little bit, and we'll actually I'll actually create like a little wireframe, and then what we'll do is we'll programmatically set this up so that we can click on the user that is banned, and then it will take them to the next page, and then we can have some settings with the user, either like be able to revoke the ban, or just do nothing. Okay, so I'll see you all in the next episode. Peace out.